Check, check, check. 1 2 1 2. Can you hear me?
Yes.
What's up? What's up? Apologies for anybody who's been waiting for us for the last 30 minutes. Totally my fault. I am remote, very remote right now. But I had to come and tap in and do our starter bench and keep it going. I know we're a little off today, but today is my birthday, so give me some grace.
Happy birthday, Matt.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you. What a weird week. I just want to say what's up to my people. Chartich is in the building. Eric Wiley has already given his predictions. He says calling it right now, 2-1 to Bournemouth. We don't show up for these games, and the outing against Leeds is horrendous. Leeds.
We'll get into that.
Let's get into it. First of all, how is your day?
No, I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. We're getting into it. We've got some things to talk about. So
Yeah.
I'll kind of tell you guys what we're going to talk about today. And then before we get into that, we'll talk about Arsenal and Chelsea and Leeds.
Wow.
Yeah, we've got some stuff. So unfortunately, these past couple weeks, it's like we were talking about, are we in the title race? Today, we're going to unpack if we're in the final four.
Yikes.
We need to talk about Chelsea's disciplinary issue. We've got a problem. We also want to talk to you guys a little bit about breaking down the low block, because some of us are wondering, why don't we show up for certain games? And it's important we talk about this tactic. And we're going to talk about Unk. We're going to talk about Uncle Tosin.
Yikes. Let's talk about all of that.
Yeah.
First of all, let's start. Yeah. Let's start with just kind of the positives. Because obviously all these games are happening so fast. We're now seeing 2 games a week between us doing starter bench. We had Arsenal. That was basically our last starter bench, was in preparation for Arsenal. How did you feel about that game?
I mean, I think as Chelsea fans, we all left that game happy because if we look at the season and how it looks when we go a man down, we see Maresca with very defensive substitutions, and honestly, we see the players sit back. But it felt like we were still trying to win, and we led with the first goal. So that was refreshing to see as a fan, that we didn't give up, especially on such a big game that had been heightened literally throughout the whole week.
Yeah.
So to see his substitutions in that game, I thought they were way better than in the past that they've been this season.
Yeah.
And I mean, we looked great. We looked great with 10 men.
We looked good. We looked even better, almost even better with 10 men, or it was like better to see. Obviously, that Moises, a little bit of a rush of blood. We were obviously excited for that game, but I'll give him that. I'll give him grace for being like the most consistent player we've had throughout these last two years. But even I think the way we talked about having him set up, we said we wanted to see Esteval. We saw Esteval, and Esteval kind of did his thing. We wanted to see Garnacho, but then we thought Pedro Neto would be a little bit, a little bit stronger, and we got to see that. We saw João Pedro up top.
And I had some little tidbits about them, because if we're thinking positively, Reece James.
If we're thinking positively.
Well, yeah, because I mean, if we're being honest, there were some good things, but there also were some things that we need to fix, which I think we're going into the game. So if we're on the positive note, Reece James, his ball delivery, his tackles to then carry the ball, and he was first to every ball. He recorded 1 assist, 6 out of 6 ground duels won, 5 out of 6 aerial duels won, 3 out of 4 complete long balls, and 2 recoveries, 1 interception, 4 fouls won, and 0 fouls committed, and 0 times dribbled pass.
Pure man of the match performance.
Man 100%. Of the match performance, captain performance, especially to be 10 men down, or 1 man down. And Fofana was fantastic. He looked reliable, and I think that's the first time we've really seen that this season.
100%. I loved what Fofana was looking like, which, and we'll get into the next game, which is why I'm so disappointed we didn't see him again, but we'll get to that. The Reece James thing. I said last starter bench that Reece should start in his best position in that right wing. How do you feel now, having seen him play against Arsenal? Like, when we play these big teams, and obviously Maresca wants to kind of put a veteran player or a different player in that midfield, where are you putting Reece when we're playing these big teams?
For me, I'm putting Reece in the middle by Caicedo. I think because we were talking about it last week, and Gusto can apply the same defensive job, in my opinion, with a bit more speed. I'm not going to say as good as James, because James has worked for that title and he's put in the effort for that. But I think Gusto, I'm fine with having him just for some pace, and we leave Reece in the middle, and we get way more creativity up top, and honestly, way more opportunities with having him in the midfield.
As long as Gusto's doing his job, I'm fine with it. It just comes down to, can our defenders do our job? And I think that's really the theme of even today's episode. It's like, can we find a back four or maybe a back three? Because Cucurella has been the most consistent of any other player except for Caicedo. But can we find that back three that will do the job for us?
Yeah, and even when we think, so obviously our defense, we just need to figure out what works, what pairing, our backline, we've got to solidify that. And then offensively, with João Pedro in that game, I mean, he's taking too many touches on the ball and missing that pocket of space to shoot, taking like 3-4 touches versus shooting, which again, we want that from our striker.
Yes.
And then Esteval, obviously, he's brilliant. We see the natural talent. We see the flair. His finishing in the final third just shows how he just might not be ready right now.
Man's 18. Like, he's ready to perform in some big games, but obviously Maresca's doing the right thing, kind of slowly working him in, especially into the Premier League. Again, when he's playing in Champions League, when he's playing against these other European teams, he looks great, and I want to see him start. But against a Leeds, a Sunderland, a Bournemouth, maybe we have him come off the bench and add something towards the end, right? So talking about Leeds, and João Pedro, like he started in the midfield in that 10 position against Leeds. He started up top against Arsenal, and he was okay. He didn't do that great. But then when he dropped back to that 10, where we actually know him to be better, I thought he was super poor against Leeds. And it also didn't help us out.
Nearly everybody was poor against Leeds. I think that's the byproduct of the manager. I know he's resting people, but the byproduct of mixing up the lineup every single time to make 5 changes is gonna result, like, there's that lack of chemistry, if I'm being honest. But João Pedro, I mean, he really doesn't have any excuses for this poor form. I think it's just showing, like, the level of player he is. In the sense, like, he's showing more of a substitute than a reliable starter.
How crazy is it that he was the main man, the talisman at the beginning of the season, and now it's kind of like, but to your point, substitute, who's starting over him? I can't say it's Delap.
Well, yeah, and that's something I was gonna know. But now that we're even getting into Leeds, let's just kind of go over.
Yeah, let's go down the line.
So Leeds XG was 2.8, which is the second highest by a team against Chelsea since Maresca took charge.
Oh my God.
Teams aren't regularly scoring 3+ goals on us. Like, that's just not the thing. So for that to happen in a game against Leeds is huge. I also put a note, it's a bad game when Calvert-Lewin wins man of the match.
Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Look, hey, no shade to my boy, because I had a lot of hopes for him. I think at least he can be a Premier League, top 5 striker and maybe make the England team. But I feel you. When Calvert-Lewin's dunking on us and doing all the stuff he was doing,
we played bad.
Yeah.
Okay. I know we'll talk about this a little bit more, so I'll save Tosin's stats for that. Honestly, Tanaka's goal was world class. Like, credit where credit's due. That was a fantastic goal. Poor so poor from us. Neto, never celebrate again like that after our after our comeback goal. I know for it to come to help you, and then also it's crazy because he's now our top scorer, which I've always been for Neto, but he's clutch. He's like our top scorer now. But hey, don't celebrate like that again.
Yeah.
I see Maresca is trying to manage our players, but these players who are coming in, so like a Batty or something like that, these should be players who are trusted and equipped to come in, given the circumstances, given the fact that okay, we still have a 6-point gap, which wins for the title, and we can't lose this game. So I think it's just interesting to see these players come in and the mistakes just show the immaturity.
Yeah.
The immaturity in being in a squad like Chelsea, I just don't think is acceptable. And I also don't know what Josh has done to not be given a spot like this.
Josh must be really phoning it in at training because it doesn't make sense. Body Shield was injured, and
Exactly.
he gets tapped over Pong, and let's be honest. We started Trevor Chalobah at right back,
which oh my gosh, that was so.
So I talk about this with a lot of Pep Guardiola's tactics and then all of the kind of Pep Guardiola respawns, which include Maresca. Now, I thought Maresca was a little bit different. He's Italian. He's a little bit more pragmatic. And I wouldn't think that he would overthink the easier games. Like, I love when he overthinks the tough games, but
it's an overthinking.
Overthinking, overanalysis.
Would you put Chalobah on right back? He's never played that. He has never played that. That doesn't make sense though, because he doesn't have that ability. One, he doesn't have that speed to carry it up the line like someone like Gusto would, and he doesn't have that IQ of James to play those balls. Like sometimes he can lines. Most of them were turnovers, anyways. But no, that was the first mistake. Okay, and it looks like we lost Matt for a second. Let's wait to see if he comes back on. If not, I'll continue with you guys. Okay, we'll wait for him to come back. But Chalobah playing at right back made absolutely no sense. I understand wanting to rest the players, but the logic behind it, the logic to put our center back when it just made no sense. It just made no sense. So that was just so many mistakes. I just think he's overthinking the basic decisions. He's overthinking the basic decisions. We're going to talk about Tosin shortly, guys. For those of you guys who don't know, Leeds and Chelsea. All right, Matt, you're back.
You lost me. Oh my gosh. Thank you. I think my whole internet was like, I don't want to hear anything about Chalobah and right back. That's what it was telling me. It was like, no. Oh my God.
I was actually, so I wrapped up that thought for them about like Maresca kind of overthinking. And the interesting thing about this rivalry, which I didn't even really know was a rivalry, is this stems back. Chelsea's actually only won 3 of 16 games against Leeds. And yeah, it goes all the way back to the 1970 FA Cup final.
3 of 16? Can we, what? 3 of 16 games we've only won?
Yeah, I'll have to fact check, but yeah, I believe that's correct. Yeah.
If we're doing so if Maresca and his guys are doing any over analysis, we need to do analysis on that kind of stuff. Like, hey, what are the odds? Like, this team is usually beating us, that kind of thing.
Going to Leeds. So 3 out of the 16s with going to Leeds.
Okay, away at Leeds.
Away at Leeds.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
But yeah, I suppose we can get into it.
Yeah, so, let's jump in.
Will Chelsea finish outside of the top 4? Okay, this is where I think it's important for you guys, especially as fans, to not necessarily look at the position, but to look at points. So if we look at points, we have Arsenal at 33. We have Man City at 28, which is 5 points behind. We have Aston Villa at 27, which is 6 points. And we have us, Chelsea, with 24, but we're 9 points behind. And underneath, Palace has 23. Sunderland has 23. Brighton has 22. Man United has 22. Liverpool has 22. Everton has 21. So this is a matter of you mess up the next game, we're down to 8th. You win
Yeah.
the next game. For us right now, we're still staying in 4th until
Yeah.
somebody fumbles.
Right. Which I expect Villa to fumble. I can't remember who they're playing, but I do expect them to fumble pretty soon. But to your point, I agree. I expect City to
we
fumble
don't
as well.
want it. We want that buffer. We do want that buffer, which we'll talk about a little bit later when we talk about this low block, because we want to capitalize against these smaller teams so that this isn't a 1 point, 2 point issue, so that we can have that gap and cushion. But when you fumble a game like Leeds and Sunderland, that puts us in this position, which this isn't a good 4th place. This isn't.
I agree with you. It's not a good 4th place to be in. I do
Mm-mm.
look around at the surrounding people in the table, and like you said, we've got Aston Villa, who's just above us now. They're liable to lose points, in my opinion. Just below us, I believe we have what? Man United's in 7th. We're in 4th, right? So 5th is.
But the next 2 teams underneath us are just a point away, and then the next 2 teams underneath them are 2
Are
points
just a
away.
point. But
And
again,
then
it's
we've
Crystal
got,
Palace and it's like Sunderland.
I
And
don't know if we should be. Hear me out. I hear you saying that, but I don't think we deserve to underestimate them.
I
Our
agree
first
with you.
season was 0-0 to Crystal Palace, and Sunderland beat us. And with our form and our inconsistencies, I don't think we are deserving enough to underestimate these teams. I
I
think this
agree.
is walk in. We've got Everton, we've got Newcastle, and we've got Villa ahead. And I do not think these will be easy games.
None of them. None of them will be easy. And it's crazy, too, because I remember thinking to myself after Arsenal and going, well, okay, we beat Barcelona midweek. We got through, made a statement against Arsenal with 10 men. Now we're getting Cole Palmer back, and we have Leeds and Everton and Villa, and we have one other team that these teams shouldn't be scaring us. Like, this should be our run. This should be our magical run.
With the youth of our team, and with Maresca's clearly overthinking a lot of things. He's overthinking, how do I manage the players? Like, what's enough, what's not enough, which again, you guys are getting paid millions of dollars. You need to figure this out. You need to stay fit. Neto is someone who, again, he's fit enough to last these games. I know not everyone is the same, but poor tactics, there's overthinking into so many areas of like, there's parts of the game that shouldn't change. So it's like the modern game right now, which I like, is the fact that your fullbacks are allowed to carry it up the field, and Ingles are second wingers. So that's a part of the game that's like a cool addition. Certain parts of the game, like your center back, being able to play a right back who's never played that, and then doing that. I just think there's some aspects of the game that we shouldn't change, especially when we're not that comfortable. Getting a tie is dropping points. So it's like, we're not in a position to do that. We're not ahead enough to rotate in that way. So he's just got to figure out that balance between resting players and players who need to show up.
Right. And there's a difference between having a large roster and a deep bench. And right now, Alexis, I think we just have a large roster.
Yeah.
We don't have a deep bench. And I'm looking at teams like Arsenal, who do have a deeper bench.
Yeah.
And they're not making those changes. I don't think Arsenal's back line has changed
Yeah,
much.
I was thinking the same exact thing. I was looking at their stats and I just see. But again, guys, we do want to tell you, this is the byproduct of 6 years. Arteta's been in the dugout for 6 years. He's been able to work with them. They have a lot more chemistry. So I know we were talking actually the other day about Chelsea winning, if that would be good for football. If Chelsea won the Premier League, and it wouldn't. It wouldn't, because with the youth and our inconsistencies, we don't want that message of like, buy
young players. Yeah.
Just buy young players, and by other teams fumbling, this is how you can win. It's like, no, there should be some seniority on the back line. There should be a manager who is within the club for more than just one season working with the players. So that'll be interesting to see how that pans out. But yeah, I wish it could be more than the top four, but I think as fans, we have to manage our expectations in what we're seeing.
To that point, let's hit this next slide, because it just gives people an opportunity to kind of vote. Because though I do not think we are outside of the top four, even this year with this team, that's top four. I don't see of these 10, and all you need to do is pick four for these. Pick four teams that you think are better than Chelsea, and if you don't, just put Chelsea wherever you think is in the lineup, and then stop at four. Because with the top 10 of our league right now, I still don't see any of these teams. I don't see four teams finishing above us. That said, to our point that we talked about yesterday, and to your point right now, I am worried that we will never, in this regime, find a way to win the Premier League. Unless we keep...
Okay, also, we're going to need a different code, because this code isn't working at the bottom. The 195179.
Oh. The code is at the top. Guys, sign in. So forget that code at the bottom. The code is at the top, probably on the next slide.
Okay, all good.
You can go forward. We can go back.
If you want to go back to the QR code real quick, we can scan that.
Yeah, like we can go back to the starter bench. We can scan that.
Let's get that little QR code up. And then, okay, I don't think it's not about which teams are, it's not about, I think, which teams are better than Chelsea. It's really the teams that are like
well,
better.
I heard you. I mean, you're talking about points, but do you even see these teams like finishing on points? Do you really see Villa, Sunderland, Crystal Palace?
I mean,
Brighton finished.
Villa barely didn't make it this year. They've had Unai Emery for a bit. If you're asking if I see that happening based on our errors, yes. Not based on their abilities, based on our inabilities. I think that would happen. No, do I think any of these teams by talent are better? No, and I think most of the managers in the league can agree with that. But it's our inconsistencies. Even with the manager moving people around like that. What does that say to the opposition? What does that say to our team? Of like, sure, coach, yeah, put me in right back. Okay, I'll do what I can, even though that's not where I'm going to benefit the team best. So I think if I'm going to predict the top four, of course I'm going to put Chelsea up there right now. The realities of it are, I mean, we can't underestimate Villa, and we can't underestimate probably Sunderland and their form this year.
Sunderland's in good form. I will say they've had some weird losses too, and some weird, like they have that inconsistency we have, just almost in the reverse.
Honestly, so I actually predicted the top four exactly how it looks right now.
Wow. Okay.
With maybe us getting third and Villa getting, because the thing is, Villa started off quite poorly, but they've actually come back, which shows me, oh, okay, you guys just had a run of bad form.
They found it. Right.
Yeah. So they started off quite poorly. They were very low, and now they're back. Liverpool, I think, is in the trenches, if I'm being honest. It doesn't seem like they made the right purchases, which they made the right purchases, but it does not seem like they made the right purchases.
Right. Well, let's not say right. They made a lot of purchases, but I don't know if they made the right purchases. Buying two strikers of the same kind of profile doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not worried about Liverpool. City, I know they're kind of scary and you have to watch out for them, but they're relatively as inconsistent as us, you know?
Yes, especially if we're looking at the last game against Fulham. How do you go up 4-1 and then
take 4?
5-4. Yeah. So that's kind of nice to see as well, in the sense of like seeing their deficiencies on defense too.
So that brings me back to like the only team that kind of fits that profile that you're talking about, which is a team that is digging out results, whether big team or small team. Like Arsenal got a result against us away.
Yeah.
Like let's be clear. Even though we played well and maybe even played better with 10 men, and because we had 10 men, it felt like a result for us. A top 6 team going away in this Premier League, that's a result. Drawing away is a result. So Arsenal has still yet to prove that they can fumble, even though mentally we know
right
them
now,
more than any other team is a fumble. But
Yeah,
Man
right now
City's
they're the home
fumbled,
squad.
Sunderland's fumbled, Villa had a bad start to the season. We
But
have fumbled.
Sunderland fumbling, I don't think anything they're doing counts as a fumble, if I'm being
Right,
honest.
right.
To come into the Premier League and to be on the top side of the table, you can't. I think they're viewed as team of the season right now in the
I
sense,
mean,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, what a story. But can that
Um,
carry all the way into May? I don't know, Alexis. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for the
they're definitely
inconsistency.
not getting relegated though, so
That's
that's
facts. That's facts
okay.
already.
We
Let's
can
keep
move
it
on.
going. Yeah.
Okay, Chelsea's disciplinary issue. Let's just talk about this really quickly. They have, let me pull it up. They've got let me see these stats right here. Let's see. They have 7 red cards across all competitions and 4 in Premier League games alone, which Caicedo's this last game has him out for the next 3 games.
Yeah.
Which is a blow for sure.
It's
Big
a blow.
But Palmer's back, so that's also helpful. Red card FC, this photo, that's funny.
Craziness. Craziness. That's what we've gone from Mandem FC to Brazilian FC. Now we're Red Card FC. It's freaking crazy.
Okay, my thing is each clubs have different ways that they deal for red cards. I'm going to need to see some sort of wage deductions at this point because clearly the punishment must not be hard enough if you guys are still coming out here making stupid red cards.
Yeah.
Not okay. So we have to solve that because that discipline is needed in games like a game like Leeds, like a game like Arsenal. That level of discipline is needed to be a championship level team, and because we don't have that, we can't think about the title race right now. Just because these are problems, and that's why I mean you could even see it last year with Arsenal when they got all those red cards. The lack of discipline that hurt them, and we see that right now that is hurting us.
Do you think, because I can make an excuse for at least 3 out of these 6 red cards that we've gotten so far? Yeah, like Caicedo, no excuse for that. It was just kind of a dumb. And that's a bang bang play, right? He was maybe a millisecond away from getting a touch on the ball, and you stomp on that. For somebody that aggressive in the midfield who actually wins tackles, I have to give that to him. The Maresca one.
Yeah, that's like.
That's coach trying to be passionate for his team, right?
Yeah, and it really depends, I think, on who's reffing that day as well. Yeah, some of these
are harsh.
Some of these are. But at the end of the day, this is too many.
It's too much, for sure.
It's too many cards.
For sure.
Okay, we're moving on.
Yeah, keep it moving. So based on that, we have only a few defensive midfielders to pick from for the next 2 games, right? Now that Caicedo's out. Okay. We've seen that we kind of show a little bit of lack of quality when we don't have a Caicedo. It's kind of crazy. It's almost like Caicedo deserves this rest, but we're going to be really...
Yeah. Not at the expense of cards, in my opinion.
Not at the expense of cards, but at some point he was going to need a rest, or he would have... I see an injury in his future.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Maybe this was good in hindsight because he really does need these games off. And we still have him in the Champions League, so.
Still have him in the Champions League. He played 90 in the Club World Cup for almost every game. Cole Palmer's back. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. I don't know what's up with Buonanotte either, but, So
what's interesting is, as I'm listening to people talk about Buonanotte, I understand not playing a player that I guess you don't really see buying, because he is a lone player, in the sense of like they don't really, I don't know. In my opinion, I'm like, hey, get the most out of the player, but we're
paying for him. We're paying the loan fee.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he has as much as an impact as I felt like. Again, these are different positions, but if we're thinking of lone players, I thought Jadon Sancho had a bigger impact of like you would want to play a player like him, in my opinion. But Buonanotte and different position, but I don't know. I don't know if he's as much of an impact.
I maybe agree with you thus far, and again, we haven't seen him feature enough to like give him that fair comparison to a Sancho. But I can say, based on what I've seen out of the 2 or 3 games we've seen him play, versus what I'm seeing out of Joao Pedro, what I'm seeing out of anybody else we put at the 10, other than Enzo, when we are playing big teams, I'm not seeing enough, and I'm
I
done with
agree.
seeing Joao Pedro at the 10. Now we got Cole Palmer back, maybe we're
Yeah.
gonna still have to work him in. So we need somebody to fill that void for a little bit. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
tough.
I think
But
I would put right now if Caicedo's not playing,
wow.
um I'm gonna put Santos and James because I'm assuming Fernandez would. Well, I guess I can't assume. I guess
You
I
can't
can assume.
assume because
I
against
would.
Leeds,
I would like Enzo at the 10. Palmer's not coming on. He's not starting for a long time. Um, so I would put Santos and James, and then I'll put Enzo at the 10.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's why we have to play. Enzo's been doing really well at the 10, by the way. In
Yeah.
Cole Palmer's absence, I don't even want to see Enzo in that pivot. I want to see us, like you said,
Yeah.
maybe Reece James, maybe,
With Santos, might I add, he is way too slow. Absolutely. I mean, I thought he was so poor with Leeds because I believe he was playing in the midfield. Let me.
No, he was. I will
Yeah,
say that he was,
he was so slow.
to be honest, he was a little bit better than Enzo. Like I saw him
That
winning
game,
balls.
I mean,
It's tough. Yeah, it's tough to. Everybody was poor, but
everybody was just so bad. But Santos, I mean, geez.
so
Okay.
Santos and James you would do. Okay, and then keep Malo Gusto on the right wing because we can't be playing. I don't know why Malo Gusto didn't feature against Leeds.
It's the stupid managing your players, but we've got to figure this out. If Arsenal can replay the same players, if all these other teams can replay the same players, then
If Moises Caicedo can play almost every game,
every
then
single
so
game,
should Malo Gusto.
and you never have to put Uncle Tosin on the field, which we're gonna rip.
Speaking of which, let's go.
Okay, breaking down the low block, guys. If you are wondering, how come we can't play against a team like Sunderland and we struggle against the Ipswich and we struggle against the Leeds? They're playing a low block, and we need to talk about this.
Welcome to the Premier League, baby. There's always going to be a choice few teams. Yeah.
Yes, it's important. Matt's bringing up the fact, welcome to the Premier League, because in a league like the Champions League, you're not going to see this a bunch because you're not guaranteed your next game. In this low block, it's this deep defensive formation of just packing everybody in because a lower table team is like, hey, I mean, we don't want to get scored on, so let's just try to do this and let's just come away with a tie. Leeds decided to do this and also just come at us with insane pace on offense. I mean, in every area, they were way better.
Classic counterattack and great on set pieces as well. Like Leeds played that game perfectly.
Yes, and if you guys are wondering, so Sunderland and Leeds played. So Sunderland played in a 5-4-1 with the 5 in the back. Leeds played with a 3-5-2, but
that's basically 5 in the back.
that's pretty much 5 in the back. So with this, it's like we need a proper striker to break this down. We're gonna need, with this low block, you need more crosses in the box, accurate crosses, and you need a striker who's going to be able to take those airily. And there's got to be more 2v1 situations on the field. So it's like Esteval gets the ball, there's 3 players on him. Why aren't we
overlapping our wingback? Maybe because our wingback's Trevor Chalobah and he can't overlap and play 2v1.
Right. So I just felt like the preparation for this game surely was minimal. That's what it looked like.
It was like Maresca thought, let me just put some solid defenders who won't join in the attack, and let me just hope that Esteval, Joao Pedro,
some magic. And just a little too young to put him in, and I don't think he should be put in this position where he's got all this pressure to create.
Pedro Neto doesn't even have the same pressure to create. He just has he's just been told to kind of go put that effort in, get a cross in. But Esteval, you can kind of feel that he's given the green light to fit out, to be magical, do his thing, and it's like, I love that, but I love that more in the Champions League when.
And we just weren't moving the ball quick enough. Like when you're playing teams with a low block, which I think Maresca's going to have to really dial down into this, because that's pretty much what the lower table teams are doing to us, and it's hurting us. We've seemed to lose or tie every game with a team that plays us in this low block formation. So I think that's something to learn from as a team.
And again, we talked about the inconsistency of every other team in the league other than Arsenal. Mm-hmm. Arsenal, again, have had 6 years to work on breaking down the low block. I think if anything, that's what Arteta has done best. It's kind of get his team to be able to break down these teams that are tougher in the Prem. Mm-hmm. And then maybe they're still not strong enough to just go out and smack up Liverpool, smack up Chelsea. You know what I mean? But that's good enough. They're digging out those results to win. We need to figure it out. And I agree with you. It starts with having a striker that we can cross to. It starts with having kind of some dynamic. It's crazy how well we did on set pieces against Arsenal, though. And then our set pieces were almost flip-flopped with Leeds. It's just so frustrating.
Yeah. So much of that. And let's get into it. Okay, who should start on the wings?
So you want to break down a low block, you still need some wingers to do what you need them to do.
I thought Garnacho and Neto. I mean, there was a clear change when they came on the field. And I think Garnacho's experience in the Premier League helps him. And I think he's just his cutbacks. I said this from the very beginning. His cutbacks are perfect. He finds that cross at the top of the box. Palmer was there, almost got the equalizer, which would have been getting the equalizer would have been a good result for us, considering how poor we were. How poor.
Yeah. It's not the same as getting that result against Arsenal with 10 men down, but it would have been. It would have showed resilience.
Yep.
See,
it would have showed that resilience. And Esteval, I want him coming on as a sub right now, just to get his feet wet, just to really get a feel for the games.
Yeah. What about before we move on, Gittins. Gittins started against Leeds. We've seen him. Obviously, we're trying to work him in. We've seen him do some magic in some lesser games. I'm of the opinion that at this point, it's got to be a Premier League Garnacho and Neto, Champions League maybe, Esteval, Neto, Garnacho kind of mix. And Gittins, you're only getting a start if it's Carabao Cup and FA Cup. That's where I'm at now. I can't start him in any Premier League game at this point.
Which again, Maresca, I would almost
Maresca.
I would almost, why not start the better players and then rest them after? But then maybe he's worried about having to leave them on longer because nothing's happening. I don't know.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense.
We need to stop underestimating lower table teams, because clearly they're doing this low block formation, which we are struggling to get goals against. We are.
As well as Maresca does with scouting reports on big teams, people are doing good scouting reports on us. Stay resilient, stay strong, and
they were so disciplined.
Right, they were disciplined, and not only did they not get broken down easily, but then they were able to get momentum and counterattack us with pace. Again, we had something like 72% possession or something like that.
Mm-hmm. I know. Nuts. So to lose to that is crazy.
All right,
guys. Okay, Cam. I'm gonna take Enzo.
I agree. Enzo should be starting Cam until Cole Palmer's ready. That's a period from me.
Until Cole Palmer's ready. And Jao, we're gonna have to see something, or you're kind of showing you're a squad player. Come on. You had some momentum coming from Brighton, and we see the talent. We definitely need consistency. We need better decision making rather than 3 touches on the top of the box. What if it's 2? What if it's a first-time shot? Things like that.
Again, I've said it before. We've said it both together. Joao needs to be working on being a striker. I don't want him thinking about the 10. I don't want him thinking about coming back for the ball. I want him thinking about heading the ball, getting to the far post, getting up, getting in behind his man, those kind of things. And I hate to bring this up, and I'm not going to go full force on this, but at this point, now having 2 squad player type strikers, do you at all miss Nicholas Jackson?
No. Nicholas, no, I don't miss Nicholas Jackson, and I probably never will. Y'all can clip that too.
I
Um,
miss him, man. I don't know, but I agree. It's tough.
you know what? I actually did see Chelsea posted it today. His hold up play against Bournemouth in our game last season. And I'll be fair, Delap's hold up game is quite poor. It's interesting. One of the commentators during the game, he was like, "I just love him. I just love him." And I'm like, I really want to love him.
I want to love him too.
Mm-hmm.
He seems to work hard. He seems to fit a profile, but the ball comes to him. You know, it's like he's got brick feet right now.
Yeah, I think you should actually be playing over him, in my opinion.
Chelsea, Maresca, call me up.
His press is way more intense than Delap.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, he's not going to offer too much technically, but hey, he got us our third goal against what was that game? I don't know that game.
Yeah, Barcelona.
Yeah.
I mean, we were already killing Barcelona. I don't
think it was Barcelona. It was
it was Barcelona. It was that third goal. He came on. Yeah, he scored that like final dagger, and it was Delap's back a little bit. Say it again.
I'm talking about Hughes cut back and Enzo scoring that. That was Barcelona.
Oh no. Hughes cut back and Enzo scoring was teams ago. I want to say it was against. I can't remember, but it was a lower. It was a.
Okay.
It was a lower team that we deserved to beat. She wants to know, where did we see you? I'm just gonna say Alexis.
It was Wolves.
It was Wolves, and that's what I'm saying. That's Wolves, though. You know what I mean?
Wolves. Was it Wolves? No, I need to see this. I am so curious. What game was it? I remember it vividly. It might have been Burnley. Yeah, it was
Burnley. Even worse, right? Like that. That's great, and that's kind of, and we're going to get to this because this is kind of one of our questions. But it's like, do we need to start giving players grace? I can't. Unfortunately, Delap is a role player and a squad player, and he's going to have to work his way in. But I don't think Hughes any better of a replacement, and so maybe we would like to see him more. But I can't start Hugh right now. I cannot.
I might.
You're there. You're there with it. So to the same point, we're seeing all these tweets. After Tosin dropped a stinker. Now, Tosin's dropped a couple of stinkers, but...
All right, chat, y'all ready for this?
Yeah.
Uncle Tosin. Oh, wait, so what you're saying?
No, go ahead. You got the stats. I need to hear this.
Uncle Tosin. Okay. With Uncle Tosin on the field, Jackson's got double figures for us in his last 2 seasons, so we aren't hitting that from the lap.
Netta or João Pedro, but I appreciate that comment, Trini Bob, because that's how I feel. But I feel you.
Yeah,
it's the lesser of evils.
How I feel is Nicholas Jackson, nor Pedro, nor Delap are top strikers. I want to sign Hugo Ekitike. I want those players, even though, however, I know they're not in form yet for Liverpool. I want Osimhen. Yes.
I wanted Osimhen, so I'm there with you. I wanted Osimhen.
But I want Nicholas Jackson back. No, I want a striker I want a senior striker. I want a senior striker, and I want one who's scoring more goals. So I actually want neither of them. I want someone who's more prominent 9.
But we got to go in reality because we're not getting that kind of striker.
Exactly, especially with our current ownership.
Our ownership has a certain way they want to do things. So we're not, and Nico Jackson does come back from loan. Again, that's probably not reality that he'll ever play for us again after that fiasco.
Okay, so Tosin, Uncle Tosin, with 5 games played, we have conceded 9 goals. We have also lost 2 games. Without Uncle Tosin, with 4 games without Uncle Tosin, we've only conceded 1 goal and 0 losses. Uncle Tosin is a liability.
Yikes.
He's a liability.
That's a crazy stat.
And we know that Sanchez isn't really to blame. Like, if we're looking at the season, we know that Sanchez isn't the responsibility for a lot of these goals. It's going to be the back line. And we've seen absolutely horrendous 1v1 defending. Do I think we should give him grace? Absolutely not. You're 28 years old. You are a mature footballer. You're the oldest one on the pitch. No grace shall be given. You're playing for Chelsea Football Club. No.
I think that's facts, but you know me, devil's advocate. I'm looking at our roster. I'm looking at our squad. I'm looking at our list of center backs in general. We've had an issue with every single one of them. Badia Shield, Fofana. Even when Fofana got healthy, even though we've seen a little bit more forms thus far, he played it right back. Maresca, another weird decision. A few weeks back.
Where is Josh Achimpong? Where is Josh Achimpong? I hear
Yeah.
you. I hear you.
Yeah.
I would rather our game with our resilience. What was the game? Was it was Liverpool. It was Liverpool where all of our defenders got injured. And we've got Josh showing up. We've got Badia Shield, which I don't want to talk about him. I don't want to talk about Badia Shield. But we had Josh coming in. We even had Hato, who we haven't seen Hato, which is quite unfortunate.
He's still injured.
Really? I didn't see him on the injury list.
It doesn't make sense. Like, we have these random players who get injured and then they're out for months.
I didn't even see him on the injury list. That's so. I don't think he's not injured. He's on the bench.
Was he on the bench for Leeds?
Yeah, he's not on the injury list. We actually only have 3 players on the injury list, which doesn't really back us. We only have Dario, Lavia, and there's one more player, and
Colwell probably. Yeah.
But Hato's on the bench. He's an option. So my thing is, I think it's quite interesting, especially when you see a game like that Liverpool game where we had to deal with so much adversity. And we had to throw out literally every pairing. And Tosin, I think Maresca with Tosin as well. They were like, he's our oldest player on the field. And did he play good? And it's for me, I think I was talking to you about this, it's the lack of accountability as well. For Tosin to give that away and be like, what the heck? No. I need to see accountability for your mistake.
I think that's what I didn't like the most. I saw Bob Sanchez and he was up in arms, and that made sense because what the hell? But then Tosin did something like this, like he was mad at Gusto for passing him the ball. And it's like,
which, no. Kick it out. If that ball gets past you, yes, it's tight. But again, you guys are playing in the Premier League. You should be familiar with this game. Every single team does it. Maresca's been doing it now. We don't love the playing out the back system. But if that's what you guys want to do, which again makes no sense, if that's what you want to do to keep possession, which we understand that possession doesn't actually always equal wins, we got to start using our brain, guys. Keeping possession isn't always the most important thing.
So and by the way, you're not keeping possession. You're losing
it. And also you're giving away possession while trying to keep possession.
So even if we're supposed to keep possession, we need to put players on the field who can keep possession.
Right.
Shit. Put Buonanotte in the back line. I don't know. But yeah, I agree with you. I don't want to become one of those like Arsenal FCs where every time we see a blunder, now we're just like, get him out of my club. But now that I've seen those stats that you just read, you're right. I can't give Tosin grace. Not as a 28-year-old, not as the most senior player on this team, not as the unk, right? Like,
and Chelsea Football Club, guys, we are a legendary club. No.
Trini Bob says Tosin should go and join Dizazi at the U21s. I had a clip, but I can't play it right now. But we've seen Dizazi get mixed up by PSG U21s. I just saw it. I'm going to post it to the Starter Bench Instagram page. But wow, we're in trouble, center back. So to that point, the next slide is pick our center backs. Who can you possibly pick at this point?
At this point,
are you going Fofana and Josh? Like,
yeah, no.
Oh, Fofana and Trev. Okay. Yeah. Trevor Chalobah playing on the right back did not, like, again, I cannot iterate that enough. Like, that was so weird. We have 2 right back options. Why were they both on the bench?
It was so strange.
Yeah.
It was so strange. Yeah, I'm going to take Chalobah and Fofana.
Man. Yeah.
Josh, at this point, you've had him out so many games. I just like my mind is like, where is our momentum? Where's our momentum? Who has the games under their belt? So I think the decision to leave Josh out for so long wasn't really wise because at this point in the season, I don't want to keep trying things. I don't.
Yeah. And I think that's the problem. And I agree with you. When Josh sits out, then he becomes out of form. Then we can't trust him, right? But
Yeah.
we had Wesley Fofana and Trevor Chalobah who played against Arsenal, and they played damn well, might I add.
Yeah.
I understand that Wesley's recovering, but you're a professional, bro. You've been recovering for 3 years. You got to play that next game against Leeds. You just got to. And if we can't play Fofana, that's when we bring in somebody like Achimpong. But instead, we got Tosin, which I can understand that too, because again, you're supposed to be the senior player on the team. But then it should be Tosin and Chalobah. Why was it Tosin and Badiashile? Like it just was too much overthought.
Badiashile's a left-footed player, so it's just like I don't know.
I want my center back to just have a foot. I don't care what foot it is.
Right.
And I want you to have a head. And I'm not just talking about for headers. I'm talking about like mentality. And Badiashile and Tosin, they're just too slow. Like Badiashile's all shoulders. I've been saying it for a while. He's had a couple of good performances. I think he did okay against Bayern.
Yeah.
But we lost that game heavily. So I want to see Fofana. I agree with you. Fofana and Chalobah going forward, and then Achimpong coming on. I think Tosin's got to be moved to the end of the rotation.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's it, yo. That's what we got.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be the show today, guys. Thanks for tapping in.
Thanks for tapping in.
Chelsea versus Bournemouth.
Predictions. Are we gonna one thing we have done though, and this is like a testament to resilience of a young-minded team, is we have bounced back from really shitty performances. After Sunderland, we bounced back. I think we had Wolves though, but we bounced back and smacked them.
Yeah. November, we were unbeaten. We were unbeaten in November. So I think, unfortunately, one of these games was kind of bound to happen. I'd rather it happen to a team like Arsenal, if I'm being honest.
I agree, too. I agree.
Yeah.
But here we are, and we still have a really good opportunity to really get points and finish out December strong, to be honest. Like, we're not playing super difficult opposition. And once Champions League starts back in the next year, obviously we have Champions League finishing out December. We got a big game against Atalanta in the midweek. But again, I'm not afraid of Atalanta, and I think we're probably going to do really well against them. But
yeah, I think we just, as Chelsea fans, we just have to keep an eye on I think when the lineup comes up, we'll know. When the lineup comes up, we'll have an idea of what's gonna happen.
We're gonna see.
We might get a 1-0, a 2-0, a 1-0, a 2-0 win.
Yeah, I hope so. Big up Trini Bob for tapping in. Big up the homie Joshi who's back in the building. She said Alexa's cooking with the Tosin stats. I love it. Hey, appreciate everybody who's tapped in. Hopefully we got a Chelsea win. I need it. I need it for my birthday, y'all. Yeah. I just need a big birthday Chelsea win in the weekend and then in the midweek against Atalanta. That's all I'm asking for. It shouldn't be too hard. We can get it. But I agree. We have to watch that lineup. So if you guys are on Instagram, definitely make sure you pay attention to our Instagram account at Starter Bench CFC. We're over there. And when that lineup comes out, I'm sure Alexis and I both will have a lot to say if we see some wildness like Bueno Note on the right back or something. Like, we're going to say something. We don't want to see it. We want consistent performances. Please. Yeah. One last comment from Trini Bobby said, if two of our center half was to leave, who would be that and who you think should come in January? I'm going to answer that really quickly, Alexis. I'm going to say I think Badiashile should be the first to leave. Tosin probably next. But I think I would get rid of Badiashile. I want to bring in a Mark Gay. And I just don't think it's going to be possible. I don't think that's what our ownership wants to do. Mark Gay is only 25 years old.
And Glasner said he would literally leave if Mark Gay left. And that's not going to happen because Crystal Palace is in decent form. So
Crystal Palace is rolling, and they have an opportunity to usurp us and jump into the top four. So hopefully that doesn't happen this weekend. Hey, appreciate you, homie Joshi. Alexis, sorry I'm late, but I'm in Miami just celebrating my birthday. I will be watching tomorrow. Anybody wants to tap in with me, come tap in. We're going to be live doing the same things. Another great episode of Starter Bench. We'll see what we do this weekend and in the midweek, and we will see y'all next Friday. All right?
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.